checking out Doron's world. A lot of people have been telling me to check him out, so today's the day. Let's see what he's talking about.
So One Piece creator Eiichiro Oda is getting cooked on the timeline for one reason and one reason only. And that's because this guy asked the question, can you imagine if Oda wrote Maki? And it started a war. Now, as we know, JJK is a pretty dark series where barely anyone survives. All you feel is pain. And the creator Gege Akutami has even admitted to offing characters we love just so we suffer.
He said that? Oh, he's a villain. No wonder his name is Gege.
Creator Gege Akutami has even admitted to offing characters we love just so we suffer. Which is why Mei is still alive, because everyone hates her. And One Piece is totally the opposite, because Oda has a difficult time crossing that line. He's notorious for bringing back characters who should have perished, and he makes most female One Piece characters shiny variants of Nami. So if Oda wrote JJK, this is what Maki would look like.
Oh, what the heck is that? Oda, don't ever touch a JJK character in your life. Keep your ass on One Piece, bro.
So Akari's going viral for one reason and one reason only, and that's because 63,000 people signed a petition to make Tonka Tonka his theme song. But sadly, this won't happen because he's already got a designated theme song. Let me explain. Now for context, Kinji Akari is a 67 IQ brain-rotted demon with a gambling addiction, a romance anime obsession, which has then been manifested into his curse technique, revolving around a pachinko-style gambling system that's conceptualized by the shoujo romance series named Private Pure Love Train. And so by activating his curse technique, Akari enters a game whereby hitting a jackpot and activating his domain, he's granted infinite cursed energy, making him effectively immortal for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. And in this state, the opening theme song of Private Pure Love Train blasts the battlefield.
Wait, really? I literally never knew that. But Akari is tough, man. Is his hair purple or blonde? You guys gotta let me know. Every time I see it, it's a different color.
So a fan made a list of every JJK character who was the strongest at some point in the series, and it hits the usual suspects: reincarnated sorcerers, farmers, Toji Fushiguro, and of course Gojo and Sukuna at the top. But then comes the real question: who's the strongest after Gojo versus Sukuna?
What type of question is that? We all know the answer is Yuta, right? Let's just be real, it's Yuta.
Gojo versus Sukuna, and that's where the list falls apart, because it ignores characters built not just to replace the role, but surpass it. You see, most of these strongest peaked in weaker eras, like Doron, who conquered an entire archipelago just to get one shot by a teenager. And the culling game—
You see that teenager? You see that teenager, chat? It's Yuta. Yuta. Y-U-T-A. Yuta.
Entire archipelago just to get one shot by a teenager. And the culling game reinforces that the current era is built different, where legends like Ryu and Kashimo, who reigned as the strongest in their eras, get reality checks that they can't cash, as Gojo didn't just redefine the strongest, he manifested a generation intended to surpass him in the form of Yuji, Yuta, and now aliens.
I'm cool with that. As long as you name my GOAT, I'm cool with that. Yuta, Yuta, Yuta. We all know Yuta is top, bruh. We all know Yuta is that guy, bruh.
So I thought JJK was cooked before, but what in the world is up with Megumi's bunny? They're now calling him the Honored Bun because—
The Honored Bun is disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. The Honored Bun is nasty word.
Now calling him the Honored Bun because this dude is out adapting Maharaga. Never would I thought that Lobotomy Kaisen would actually reach the JJK animators, but it turns out the Not-Eyed Win meme was just foreshadowing his inevitable return. He's basically the Gojo of the bunny realm, and his insane track record speaks for itself, like the fact that he took the once against Toji and he's still alive to tell the tale. And now they brought him back just so Aura farm and disrespect Panda as a body pillow. Junichi sacrificed Ranta for a fraction of that mogging.
Okay, bro. That bunny is fire. That bunny is fire. When I seen the bunny do this, I was like, all right, bro, they trolling. They did not have to make that so cinematic.
So yeah, I think it's fair to say that Yuta won Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, if there's anyone who's taken the gold medal on that—
I told y'all, bro. The big Yuta, man. Number one. You see? Number one.
If there's anyone who's taken the gold medal on that Olympic podium, it's this guy. Now, it's not to say that everyone in the main cast didn't meet some sort of satisfying conclusion. Like, Itadori did learn to embrace and accept his circumstances. He's following Gojo's legacy, and it seems that he's bridged a future relationship with Ozawa. Megumi, as the head and the only remaining member of the Zenin clan, is guiding it to a better future. Nobara was able to reconnect with her mom, and you just know that Akari is gonna keep his gambling—
That bitch still alive? I thought thought she died. All I saw was him touch her face. Maybe she just lost an eye. Did I just get spoiled, bruh?
You just know that Hikari is gonna keep his gambling fever well into his old age with his femboy trophy wife, so he's doing pretty well too. But Yuta's stats speak for themselves. Like, this guy did not fumble the bag at all. He became the head of the Gojo clan, and he's arguably the strongest sorcerer alive, absolutely uncontested.
Say it again, bro. He's what? He's what?
And he's arguably the strongest sorcerer alive, absolutely uncontested.
He is the strongest alive, absolutely uncontested.
The strongest sorcerer alive, absolutely uncontested. He's got kids, grandkids, he marries Maki, and lives well into his 70s, which in Jujutsu Kaisen is like winning the lottery.
You be getting knocked off in your 20s for real. If you live to 70 in JJK, you won that life. And you had kids? That's the GOAT, bro. That's the GOAT.
So these streamers are going viral and getting cooked on the timeline for one reason and one reason only. And that's because they were LARPing their Chainsaw Man cosplays. Now this is Emiru, a massive streamer slash cosplayer. And recently she and a couple of her friends cosplayed as various Chainsaw Man characters. And it didn't go over well. Let me explain. Now a big problem post the Chainsaw Man Raise movie is the fact that there's been this massive grift with new fans, where it genuinely feels like most of these people get their info from TikTok, or they only claim that they like the series because it's popular in the current zeitgeist. So when you have Emiru dressed up as Yoru, with the scar on the wrong side of her face, referring to her not as Yoru but Asa when it's Asa, while her friend calls Raise Renee, I can't even
oh Lord, these niggas fuck. Everybody wants to be an anime fan, bro. It's the new hot thing. Everybody want to gather those fans, bro. Come on, man.
The JJK fans are losing their minds for one reason, and that's because this is the rating the Japanese fanbase gave the Maki vs. Zenin episode, which seems crazy, but let me explain why this happened. Now, Japanese fans have never really prioritized animation over storytelling. A good example is with T-Bait, where despite how horrible the animation is, the story was received well enough in Japan to warrant a season 2. And in the manga, the Zenin massacre was also well received in Japan, perceiving this arc as an absurd tragic tale for Maki and Mai that pushes Maki to wipe out the entire clan, leaving in the important nuance that not all the Zenin were evil, morally questioning Maki's actions. But in the West, Maki's arc is viewed as a cathartic revenge story, and Mappa adapted to that global audience.
How do y'all feel about Maki killing the Zenin clan? She killed the kids. She killed kids? When Ma said destroy it all, Maki took that serious. I did not know she killed kids.
So this guy from JJK is going viral for a pretty interesting reason, and that's because he decided to aura farm while his buddy was fighting for his life. This is Ranta Zenin, and when he isn't funding orphanages and managing shelters for homeless animals.
He was a good guy? He funded orphanages? Oh my gosh, we killed a hero.
And managing shelters for homeless animals. He's coming second to aura farming. Now I understand why Japan was so mad at this episode. They totally butchered this moment. You see, in the manga, Jinichi was worried about Ranta, and it was meant to showcase that not all Zenin are purely evil. Instead, he just spends an entire minute slowly walking towards Maki to let her know he's really like that, just so Mappa could meme Rinta's demise with the speed face.
He never did nothing to me, but I did not know he had shelters and gave money to orphanages. I did not know that. I did not know he was a good person.
So who here would you let babysit your daughter?
Now you're for sure not babysitting my daughter. This nigga Toji might leave my kid stranded or sell my kid to the Zenin clan. I don't trust Mahito. He touches people. I think Sukuna would do it. I think Sukuna would do a good job.
Now, you know the list is cooked when Sukuna isn't even a bad option. Did he slice and dice Gato's adopted daughters like he's in Master Chef? Sure. Did he say this the day he was revived? Absolutely. But he did adopt Arame and took care of them for 1,000 years, so he's actually got the job experience. But Mahito? I don't even know how he got into this profession. This is what he does to the humans he likes. And between Naoya and Toji, well, Naoya is such a reprehensible person that the voice actor constantly needs to make reminders that he's not actually Naoya. But since this guy will actually do the job if he gets paid, Toji, you're hired.
I don't know, bro. I don't trust Toji. How much money would I have to give him to know that he wouldn't sell my daughter, bruh?
A fun fact in Jujutsu Kaisen is that Sukuna has never referred to Itadori by his given name. Now Sukuna, weirdly enough, respected a lot of people by actually saying their names, like Gojo, Megumi, and Kashimo. But he refuses to do so with Yuji, and it's because he really hates him with every fiber of his being.
Doesn't he just call him Brat? Has he ever called him by his name? What does he call him? I know he calls him Brat.
Hates him with every fiber of his being. Now there's a couple of reasons why this could be the case. Before entering Jujutsu Society, Itadori was a 15-year-old nobody who effectively subjugated the King of Curses, and he could do nothing about it. And that same nobody would later clock in a nice sucker punch on the king, which probably didn't feel that good. But the reason he can respect the others is because Sukuna finds them entertaining, because they don't always act on reason, and they're kinda crazy. People like Gojo are selfish, the epitome of human potential. Kashimo is the king of farmers and is a battle-hungry demon, while Megumi is a few screws short of a toolbox. Itadori, on the other hand, is a kind-hearted guy and selfless to a fault. He ideologically opposes everything that Sukuna believes in. Of course he hates him. He's the anti-Sukuna.
I can see how Sukuna hates Yuji. Yuji is everything he's not. He's literally his foil character, and then he's stuck inside him? Bro, I would hate the nigga too.
So while no mangaka can compete with the sheer insanity of Chainsaw Man creator Tatsuki Fujimoto, who not only ate his pet goldfish, but also role-played as a little girl on Twitter.
Nigga, what? What type of shit is this? Why did he do this?
Role-played as a little girl on Twitter. JJK creator Gege Akutami may just be 500% cooked. Did you ever wonder why there's so many attractive JJK lads on top of the blatant chemistry between Gojo and Geto? Well, yeah, that's actually intentional, because Gege is a known Fudanshi, a guy who consumes a lot of BL content, and I'm not talking Blue Lock. Well, kinda. That's why many fans thought Gege was a woman. But this last fact is so insane.
What is BL content? And his name is literally Gege. He's telling us what he is. Let's just be honest. The nickname is Gege. What do we expect?
Gege was a woman. But this last fact is so insane, it essentially destroys the case. Apparently in 1999, Akutami became the champion of this fun game that involves taking turns rubbing medication for treating insect bites on their nether regions.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
What the fuck is going on in Japan? Rubbing medication on somebody's asshole? Is that what he just said to me? I did not need to know these random facts about these creators. I did not need to know that, bro.
Did you know that in a One Piece SBS, Oda gender swapped each of the Straw Hats, which ended up being a great foreshadow to Law's waifu transformation? And interestingly, it wasn't just their external designs that changed, but also their personalities. Luffy having the most dynamic change, stating that he'll eat salad and become the Pirate Queen. Zoro would no longer be a three-sword style master because he can't risk breaking his teeth. Nami is still the same, maintaining her direct authority on the ship. Gender-swapped Usopp is still a coward, saying things like, "I'll die if I go to that island." And Chopper is still Chopper, who's very proud of being a doctor. Sanji is still a chef, but he only does sweets. The real question is, does he simp for men or women? And if it's women, does he simp for himself? Robin's personality did a complete 180, and she's basically just another Law. Frank,
I'm not gonna lie. The male version of Robin, he look good, man. It's giving daddy. Look at that man.
Personality did a complete 180, and she's basically just another Law. Frankie still desires to be super, and since Brooke is a skeleton, he's just confused over the whole ordeal. So we finally got our first look at Yuji's parents, and I know what we're all thinking. His father is a freak, and his mother's dedication to the game surpasses follow-through that not even Aizen can contest. Cause now everyone officially knows that this guy Kenjaku canonically took back shots from Yuji's dad, and imitated Yuji's mong long enough for scars to heal over, which has not happened with Geto, by the way, just for the sake of his master plan.
So that means he was inside a woman's body, pretending to be a woman for a long time. He might have liked the back shots. That's probably why he was a woman for so long. He liked the back shots.
So anime is actually getting banned because of Mushoku Tensei, and surprisingly, it has nothing to do with Rudius and his allegations. Now, recently in Taiwan, a 27-year-old man committed a real act of violence on a transit system, and the outcome was horrible. Multiple casualties, destruction, and even the attacker unaliving himself after the event. And following this situation, several media outlets launched a sensationalized deconstruction on the person's life, covering things like his early school life, purchase histories, and even his hobbies. However, the reports primarily fixated on his interests, such as the contents of his tablet, which they argue influenced his actions as revealed his interest in isekai anime.
It was isekai anime, so it wasn't Mushoku Tensei. It was just isekai. It could have been Sword Art Online. Why this one getting banned, bro? It could have been any of the isekai anime.
So they actually ruined this anime. But for once, it has nothing to do with the studio or Bandai Namco.
Bandai Namco is the studio for this? I actually like this show. I didn't know Bandai Namco can make good shit.
Nothing to do with the studio or Bandai Namco, and everything to do with the creator. Now this is Love is War, one of the most iconic rom-com animes of the last decade. But the creator, Aka Akasaka, has actively decided to dump all over it just like he does with every series he touches. For reference, this is the same creator who butchered Oshinoko with a Sweet Home Alabama plot twist.
So he makes peak and then turns around and just does weird shit? Okay, let's see what he did this time.
Sweet Home Alabama plot twist, and an ending so bad it actually deconstructed the fan base. And now he's doing the same thing with Love is War, because instead of adapting the series honestly, the creator wants to rush through 80 chapters of the manga in one movie and conclude with an anime-only ending.
Why? Just finish it out, bro. I mean, you have been edging us for a long time about their potential relationship. You ain't gotta rush it too much. I understand, like, you know, you might be getting tired, but you ain't gotta rush it.
So this creator just revealed why he decided to cut his manga early, and the truth absolutely broke the internet. This is Himota Umaru-chan, a fun slice-of-life manga about this girl who presents herself as the perfect ideal at school. But as soon as she comes home, she's this neat otaku who watches anime all day, and the MC is her brother, and only he knows about her unique behaviors. It's a really wholesome series, but something we found out recently was that Umaru was based off the creator's sister, who unfortunately passed away during the creation of this manga due to an illness. And due to the pain, he ended the manga.
That's actually a valid reason to end. That's so sad, bro. RIP to his sister. Oh my gosh.
So terrible news for the unemployed, but now we actually have a stronger villain than the job application, and that's its father, the job devil. Yup, Chainsaw Man just got that much more real, with this silent, emotionless demon that hands out job applications to its victims, like a cold, mechanical employer. And that's just the beginning. You see, the job devil traps its enemies by stealing the hearts of the unemployed and putting them in its briefcase. And once that happens, you're literally on the clock. From then, the person has 30 minutes to approach the devil, accept the contract, and complete the given task in the job description, where success leads to promotion and failure ends at burger flipping.
Chat, y'all need that for sure. Y'all need to get in contact with the job devil. I ain't gonna lie. One day, y'all gonna have to get a job. Y'all know that, right?
So this is genuinely insane. The One Punch Man animators are actually begging to be saved, and now we may know the real reason behind Season 3's downfall. Now after weeks of suffering, One Punch Man finally had a decent episode, unlike the majority of the season. And the going rumor so far was the fact that production only had 4 to 6 months to work on this project, and that's why there's consistent failure everywhere. But One Punch Man fans have expert observation hockey and are extremely loyal, because after hours of dedicated unemployment activities, they found this small detail in the latest episode, where a single frame reveals the date November 19th, 2025, meaning they only had 11 days to animate this episode.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they working overtime. But hey, you know what I'm saying? I liked One Punch Man, but that new season is kind of, it's pretty buns, bro. I don't know if I can ever watch it again.
So apparently Sukuna was just born in real life. This year, there was a massive shift in the equilibrium after a real-life Gojo spawned, and to compensate for the power imbalance, we were gifted with a 10 shadow user to follow, summoning Mahoraga right off the cuff. Now, no one besides Sukuna has ever tamed Mahoraga, so this was a sign of the worst to come, because the last time a 10 shadows and 6 eyes user were in the same timeline, it led to a cataclysmic warfare. So when someone commented this,
"You're telling me she can probably summon Mahoraga? What's next, Sukuna?" Oh yeah, Sukuna for sure coming.
this, I knew exactly where our future was headed, and that's why in the following months I've been making my preparations by studying cursed energy and going to Shibuya on October 31st. But it was already Gojo over.
On some real, if Sukuna was real, would y'all let him inside your body? I've asked that question many times, but would you let Sukuna inside you?
So apparently the child of prophecy was just born in real life. That's right, we might actually be saved. Just like how the Avatar brought balance to the world when the Fire Nation attacked. This kid is said to realize that same destiny, because he just rewrote his own fate. Now essentially what happened is that this baby, despite running a 1v billion, chose his spawn point, arising from the darkness and holding his mother's IUD, like a freaking trophy, or a farming before he even actually existed. Now for those who don't know, an IUD is this form of pregnancy control, and historically it basically has like this 100% rate of stopping pregnancies. But this kid popped out like Escanor and said, "Who decided that?"
Okay, man, shout out to that kid. Hey, he alive now. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, let me know in the comments below. That video was a banger. Shout out to him. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.